today Neelix and I are gonna have a look at the Aiwa 3-head cassette deck. And yeah, this is the one I used in the Sid Boombox finale demo, and yeah, I'm really liking it so far. So let's explore this thing. Don't forget to check out PCBWay if you're looking for custom PCBWay circuit building. I checked out their PCBs and found them to be of excellent quality, and I'm indeed considering them for a future project sometime. And judging by just how surprisingly fast the goodie bugs with their PCBs got to me, I know they have a fast service. Now this thing has got quite a few more features than the other Senor Onkyo, the Onkyo cassette deck which I have, which if you wish to watch, you know, the video of the Onkyo, you know, I did it quite a while ago. The link is in the description below, or, you know, the letter I here. So, it's got Dolby C this time. The other Dolby system on the Onkyo, I found it a little confusing, the dial, the HX41, how the dial worked. It didn't seem, I don't know, it didn't seem logical, or maybe like, you know. This one is like much more straightforward. I think things here on general on this one are much more straightforward. And, you know, you have, you know, the recording level here, the recording balance, recording sensitivity, which is interesting. You know, I was messing around with that. You have the biasing, of course. We'll go into that later on when I demonstrate. So this is just like a little overview here. Neelix saw the beautiful day outside and went to jump towards the window to sunbathe. Bless him. Now this is the first time I've actually ever bought something serious by Aiwa. You know, I've bought stuff like personal stereos, you know, things like that. Maybe speakers or headphones or something like this, but not something like not like a 3-head cassette deck, you know, something like this. Now the Aiwa here is more intuitive than the Onkyo. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds like I'm talking down about the Onkyo. I'm actually not. That's fantastic. It's a really nice vintage style silver, which has its own charm in many of its features. One of the features is the biasing on the Onkyo. I sort of prefer that because it works with beeps, recording beeps and tones on the cassette. You can tell more, you know, you can tune it finer, rather than, you know, with this one you have to listen to the music and see how it sounds, which, you know, I guess has its pros. Now some of the features on this are automated, such as the monitor. You know, it goes from source and depth automatically depending on if you know, you'll see later on, anyway. So that's what I like about this. You know, it has, let's actually plug it in. It's got a very nice fluorescent VFD display. In contrast to the Onkyo, which has the coil meters. Now I love those. And even more I love the LEDs. But yeah, I like all VUs. If it's got a VU, for me it's a winner. Of course, the recording level, the functions, this has the auto. You know, it'll detect the gaps in the tune. If you just, like, while you're playing, you press reverse or, you know, well, reverse or forward. You know, it'll rewind it to the gap and then, you know, automatically play again. So the controls are all automatic. I never even bother with the timers. I barely even noticed the timer switches. Nice manual switch for Dolby. I like that. So let's open this up and get into this. Okay. There's not much happening here. I was expecting there to be more happening inside here because, well, I'm used to seeing the Onkyo. But I guess they've refined a lot of the circuitry since this one's been made. Yeah, there's really not that much happening here at all, which is good news for me because I don't have that much to recap. Though then again, there is this part here. I don't think it's got many capacitors there. Even direct drives have a belt. That's one thing which, you know, it doesn't kind of make sense to me. If it's a direct drive, it should not have any belts. Wait, is this claiming to be direct drive? Well, it doesn't say direct drive on here, but the Onkyo claims to be direct drive, and yeah, it has a belt. So you have to change that. The direct drive. Ooh, let's actually have a look at the Dolby chip, because I want to see what it's like on this one, because I used the Dolby chip when I created the SID boombox, and which if you wish to watch, it's in the letter I here or in the description below. Well, and in the description below, I should say. And I did a Dolby circuit on that. If I'm correct, that's a Hitachi one. I used a Sony one in mine, but it's the same thing really. It's, you know, it's a Dolby chip. Actually, this one here too. HA1240. It's 2 Dolby. Okay, yeah, of course. Hey, really? Why does it need 2 Dolby chips? Ah, okay, maybe one for record. No, but that's on the same chip. Excuse me while I, you know, I talk to myself. It's because on the Dolby chip which I used, you know, there was circuit for playback, circuit for record, but also it was stereo too. So I don't understand why this needs 2 Dolby ICs. Anyway, so for now we'll close this up. You know, I would have changed the capacitors like I did with the Onkyo and everything else that I get, but you know, I haven't ordered any in because freaking coronavirus. And I'm trying to, like, you know, cut down on ordering stuff online, especially while all this is going on. So yeah, anyway, it so far seems to work fine. Everything seems to be good. So right now it's not an urgent thing, but I will be restoring this. I've got quite a few to restore. That Pioneer amplifier, which I showed you the last time, the old JVC tape deck, which is not as good as this or the Onkyo one. It's not a 3-head one. Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do on hi-fi stuff, so yeah, do expect hi-fi stuff coming. As well as vintage computer stuff. I'm into both, by the way. Vintage hi-fi computer. You will have noticed that I have many interests and I switch between them or combine them. I will not be just doing one thing on my channel. Those of you who keep requesting do only hi-fi or do only computers, no, I will do both. Once I get this in. Freak sick. Stubborn, just like me. There we go. When you know how to ease it in, that's when it goes. I better stop it for while I'm ahead now. Now let's have a quick look at the back here. Not much to see, that's why it's a quick look. Just record, line in, play, line out. That's it. So let's just connect this up and have some fun with it. So we have the Aiwa deck set up in the system here. So let's do some test recordings. Now just put a fresh cassette in, you know, if you're recording on any cassette, as in if you put another cassette in there, it's always good to calibrate it, and you know, so that you can get the best adjustment for the cassette itself, whatever it may be. Now the thing about this, one of the things about this that's different to the other one is that it's got automatic chrome metal selection, ferric chrome metal selection, and for those of you who do not know, how we can tell is if you get a chrome cassette, metal cassette, and the ferric cassette, ferric type 1, chrome type 2, and metal type 4. The reason why this is type 4 is because there used to be a ferrochrome which was type 3. But you know, they discontinued that. Ferrochrome was kind of like a mix between ferric and chrome, so you know, it has the best of both worlds. Now then, if you look at the back of all these, the tabs, you'll see that the ferric only has the read-write tab. You know, if you break that tab, it's read-only. And the chrome one has the read-write tab, along with an extra hole here, which, you know, there's a switch which goes into it If it goes inward, the machine knows it's chrome. Now then, the metal one, as well as these outer ones, it has 2 extra ones inward. So switches go in, then the machine knows that this is a metal tape. And that's how it knows. But the older ones, like the Onkyo, they don't have automatic, you know, levers here, you know, here. They don't have them, so you have to select it, you know, manually using switches. Same way you did on cassette Walkman, you know, or cassette personal stereos or Walkmans and stuff like that. You have a switch that gives it chrome, metal, and thingy. So now I'm doing a little test recording, well, a few test recordings, quite a few things, just to give it a bit of a range. Unfortunately, I cannot, as you know, I cannot record everything that I want to because, of course, YouTube copyright, which is a shame because I've got so many, you know, I'm into so many different types of music, so many different genres, I should say, and with few different languages I listen to: Arabic, Spanish, Greek, Turkish, Persian. You know, quite wide range of music taste. But the good news is we still have music like from the Amiga music, my own music, Amiga remixes, and you know, Commodore 64, so forth. So all these I can use. So, and some of them, well, a lot of them are pretty good. So I will use them as an example. I inserted the disc in there. With the mini disc, I'd have to select tape 1 because mini disc is actually set to tape 1 on this. And tape 2 is obviously this. So tape 1 is acting as a source in this case. And then tape is fully rewound. Counter reset. So let's now look at some of the record functions on this thing. You have the bias here, calibration. You have the record sensitivity here. We'll test, you know, the limits of that. And also you have the balance here. So this records with balance, as in, you know, if your recording is a bit lopsided to like the right, then you could just adjust the balance until the VU meters are equal. You know, that's what that's for. So it's got total control over everything, which is what I love. Now with tape, of course, you know, you can, as it's recording, 3 heads as it's recording, one of the head records, the other head plays as it's recording. So you can tell exactly what the tape sounds like while it's recording. Now, stick it on the source here first. Let's press play on the mini disc. And what we're going to do here is just do a little bit of a test. So we stick it on the tape, yeah, so you won't be able to hear anything until it starts recording. We'll test recording here. Once the leader tape goes, it'll start. You can, there you go, start hearing everything. That's directly from the tape as it's recording. Now then, let's adjust the bias. You can adjust how it sounds. Record sensitivity. Yeah, you could tell it distortion. But just sometimes you need it. That's actually very good. I'm glad it has that. It's a balance, of course. Try another recording. There we go. Now, with regards to the levels, you have to go to a part where it's just a test recording, of course. So to go to a part where there's a lot happening in the tune. Now then, one thing which I've noticed about this is that I'm more inclined to let it go into the red just like one or two, because the last time I recorded, I noticed that when I played the cassette back on my Sony D6C, now I noticed on the VU meter here, it barely hit the first one. You know, it's like first one, every now and then just the second one. But you need it to hit the third one, you know, just to get the Dolby. You know, so obviously any more than that, it'll just distort a bit. So fourth maximum on this. It's just like with any new cassette deck that you get. You have to get to know it, you gotta explore it, you gotta compare the recording with the others that you have, you know, so forth. So you get to know what sounds best on it, because no two are the same, really. You know, it's analog equipment. Now let's try recording it with Dolby C, Dolby B and Dolby C. The good thing about this, you can tell real time what it sounds like. Normal, Dolby B. It's quite cool that it's encoding it on the fly. Now let's try Dolby C. Hear what this sounds like recorded in Dolby C, actually. I think what I like this, when you press pause on this, it actually switches the source automatically, you know, which in the other one you have to kind of manually do it. So, you know, it's more user-friendly than the Onkyo deck. It sounds like I'm talking down about the Onkyo deck. I'm not. You know, it's actually brilliant. But it's like, of course, this is a newer deck, so they've put some newer features in it and made things a bit easier, made things a bit, you know, intuitive. And of course, with addition to Dolby C, you know, this has quite an advantage. And one thing I like, when you unpause it, it switches to tape again. That's fantastic. Take it off Dolby C. I know the Dolby is supposed to like, it reduces the noise. I do like, you know, the effect it has also, the slightly bouncy effect it has on certain music, on certain pieces of music. I like that. That's one of the reasons why I use it, sometimes. Now let's move on to something else, something a little more Commodore 64, as an actual SID recording. This one mini disc here that was sent to me by a friend. This one here, which I love personalized mini discs like this. You know, it's just something that's personalized, either a mini disc or a cassette or anything like this. It's even written, I mean, you can get all the limited edition mini discs, cassettes, whatever you like, but nothing beats this. You know, something that's hand done, something that's done, you know, personalized. I love this. It's the track listing. So let's try this then. Very nice tune. I like it. It's full of feeling. I like it. Let's turn Dolby on. As I said, it gives it that bounce, it gives it that life. I like that. can see the smile there. My friend Rick knows that I like this. Of course, those of you who heard my channel, who know my channel, know that I like this. Whenever I test SIDS, this is the one I go for. Sounds good though. Now let's record something with a little more channel depth, as in, an Amiga remix, which tends to be done with synthesizers, keyboards, so forth, or even, computer software. Computer software, I mean, you know what I mean. Like a modern DAW. DAW. Few things from the Amiga, which I picked just from my disc box. A few discs that were different. They do have some good tunes in there. So let's turn on. Also notice what the MPX filter does when I press it. Now then, the MPX filter. You can turn it on and off. I don't know too much about this. However, I do know that it's there. It's kind of like a notch filter. I'm explaining in very simple terms. It's kind of like a notch filter that, you know, it cuts out the 19 kilohertz tone which some FM stereo stations, you know, give out. It's like a pilot tone. And the pilot tone can interfere with, you know, stuff like Dolby, you know, BC or something like that. So it's supposed to kind of cut that tone out or block that frequency out. So yeah, it's not supposed to be on anyway. Now there is a buzzing which you can hear, and you would have heard it, you know, throughout some parts of the video. That is not through the audio itself. That is actually an external sound, as in the sound from the transformer, physical sound, because it's vibrating. And that is annoying. So yeah, please do ignore that as much as you can. You will not hear it once I connect, you know, the deck to your ears directly. Okay, so what I've decided to do here is wind this back and do another recording, and this time, you know, organize the recording so you can tell the difference. The other one was a bit mishmash. Oh no. Why is it now the time to mow the freaking lawn? But anyway, coronavirus. People are bored. Well, they're not bored, they just need to do stuff. The structure of these recordings. I've recorded one little piece without Dolby, then a little gap, the next piece of the same song with Dolby B. Yeah, I'm being challenged here, I think. Freak's sake. Song number 1, no Dolby, gap. Still song number 1, Dolby B, gap. And then finally song number 1, Dolby C, gap. And then, you know, it goes on to song number 2 with the same configuration. So with each of these, I'm gonna have to change the switch, you know, so the little gap is a prompt for me to adjust it to Dolby B or C, depending on what it's encoded and that they are recorded with. So that's that. Let's check out the levels on the actual Sony Walkman itself. the D6C. Ooh, actually that's a really good level. It's just hitting the Dolby thing and it's not going too far. I mean, that fourth one's lighting up every now and then, that's fine. But that's just right, actually. So I've got the levels just right on this. Now that is all for today. Thanks so much for your likes, your shares. Do leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my other videos and do subscribe for more. For now, I will say adios. I would like to say a big thank you to all my patrons for all their support, especially to my top tier patrons: Electronscape, Axel Dominator, Rich Garboot, Camel Tech, Stephen Leary, Aaron Metcalf, and Chris Sabalenski. Your support makes a huge difference and means a lot.